Okay, so here's the deal. I have about £2,000 or about $2,500 to spec and build a gaming PC, but there's a twist. It has to be a mini PC. So, Xbox Game Pass for PC are kindly sponsoring this video and giving me the budget to build this PC to mark the release of an awesome new game called Grounded from Obsidian, which you play as the smallest character I've ever seen. You're literally tiny. And by the time you watch this, it'll be available to play on Xbox Game Pass for PC. So they challenged me to build this tiny PC, which I can then play Grounded on, and it will then be compared to other creators' builds from around the world. And then on Twitter, you'll be able to vote for who you think did the best job. So follow me at the Tech Chap to get involved, and I'll share the poll when it's live. But the first step is actually to figure out what kind of a PC I can build for about £2,000. It's a pretty healthy budget, but we have to keep the PC small, and I don't want to compromise on performance. So I did my research and came up with this shopping list. What do you guys think? Would you change anything up? I will need to shop around a little bit for better deals and some out of stock parts, but I'm going to go with the NZXT H1 case, which is roughly the size of the next gen consoles, and it comes with a power supply and all-in-one cooler pre-installed. Then one of the brand new B550 mini ITX motherboards, an AMD Ryzen 7 3800 XT processor, 32 gigs of RAM, a 1TB Sabrent PCIe 4 SSD, and an NVIDIA RTX 2070 Super. All in, and after shipping, I've just about hit my budget. So fast forward a couple of days, everything's been delivered, which means I think it's time for a build montage. And here it is. I'm really happy with this build, and while it may stretch the word tiny a little bit, compared to my mid-tower PC, it's pretty small, and not much bigger than, say, the upcoming Xbox Series X. I am pleased I managed to get the new B550 motherboard in here though, as well as AMD's refreshed Ryzen 3800 XT, which has just come out. It's a great all-round chip, but the real highlight here is that ASUS ROG Strix 2070 Super, which I must admit was a very tight squeeze in this case. Now, of course, as cool as this small build is, there are always some compromises. For instance, you kind of have to go with a mini ITX motherboard, which limits your options and also can increase the price. Plus, you have to be a bit more careful about cooling because there's just not as much space for good airflow. And as I say, I only just managed to fit this ASUS graphics card in there. It is a 2.7 slot card, so it's a big guy. But the point is, while I do love a compact PC and it does look more like a games console, in terms of performance and value for money, a mid-tower or a full-tower PC is always going to be a better bet. Now, with everything up and running, let's run a few quick benchmarks. I haven't overclocked anything yet, but in Cinebench R20, we're looking at just over 5,000 points. Then in TimeSpy, just under 10,000, and then we've got the results from Geekbench 5 CPU benchmark on the left, and the OpenCL GPU test on the right. So far, so good then, but the second part of this challenge, now I've built the PC, is to play Obsidian's Grounded with Xbox Game Pass for PC. So the idea is, for just £3.99 a month, you can sign up to Xbox Game Pass for PC, and then you can access a catalogue of over 100 games on your Xbox or Windows PC. New ones are added all the time, like Grounded, and there's upcoming games like Flight Sim and Halo Infinite, which I genuinely can't wait for. But let's jump into a bit of Grounded, and I've never played anything like this. I'm definitely living my Honey, I Shrunk the Kids fantasies right now. So basically, you've been shrunk down to tiny size, and you can choose between 4 different characters, and then you explore, craft items, solve problems, and fight off killer ants and spiders. And actually, as you play through Grounded's story and you craft and unlock more skills, the world evolves, so there's always a challenge and new things to explore. Plus there's a multiplayer mode, which I reckon will be the most fun, when you're working and exploring together and taking on the biggest spiders and ladybugs. But the big question is, how does our little mini PC here actually perform in Grounded? Well, with maxed out epic settings at Quad HD+, I'm averaging a smooth 73 frames per second. Dropping it down to Full HD+, and it jumps up to 108 FPS. Not too shabby, especially since I've been playing a pre-release version, so performance may improve when it comes out. Any lessons learned from this build? Well, next-gen graphics cards are coming out around September, so that would certainly improve performance. Also, if I were building this mini PC out of my own pocket, then I'd probably have gone with the Ryzen 3 3300X, 16 instead of 32 gigs of RAM, and a PCIe 3 rather than 4 SSD. For gaming, these changes wouldn't have made a huge difference, but would have dropped the price by about £400. I do love this H1 case though, and I'll put links to every component I've used in the description below if you fancy building something similar for yourself. And do let me know in the comments what your dream mini PC would look like. But a big thank you to Xbox Game Pass for PC for making this video happen, so definitely check out the link below, and see if you like it. So if there's any games that you like, definitely check out Grounded as well. It's a lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time right here on the Tech Chat.